who was leaving school just recently after closing, she was on her way home to see her parents on 1st April on the road, on Isiolo Merti Road. She was shot dead by these bandits. This left the parents and the family so devastated, and many other families so hopeless to the extent that they're even afraid to send the learners to schools anymore. Madam Speaker, further, what has left many families so helpless is the fact that even after these bandits have raided and taken all the lives and destroyed everything, it is amazing that the state could not go after them and recover those herds when they have complete intelligence on where the herds are and who are keeping it. Just to give you an example for my county, we do have 147 camels hidden in a Mukogodo forest, just like mentioned by Mheshimiwa here. It is known where, which boma, how many other bandits are involved, but there is no action from the government. So one is left to wonder, in a state where we have a security establishment and machineries that are functional, why is it so hard to go after these people, even after they've destroyed lives? At least recovering those herds will give some hope to families and these pastoralists. But still, the security agencies are not ready to go after them. So that can only embolden these bandits to come back again, kill, maim, and the cycle continues. Madam Speaker, this is a matter that has now killed so many hopes. It has broken families. It has taken away livelihoods. It has, I can't further describe it. And we can't normalize it, making it look like it's a normal thing on this part of the country and nothing can be done. I think as pastoralists, as leaders, we feel that it is enough and it is time we probably relook our way of handling bandits. And if there's need for us to have a conversation on how we could handle it in a different way, then this is the time. This is the time. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Marakwet West.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute on this very important motion. I wish to thank the Honourable Korere for this motion. Honourable Speaker, as we speak, there are sections in this country, particularly the North Rift, that are under a militia. Honourable Speaker, those are sections of the country that literally there is no government. There are young men, women, and children who are wielding guns, moving from one place to another, raiding families, killing innocent children, killing innocent women. Honourable Speaker, can you imagine in this century that we are in a place where there are no schools, there are no churches, there are no public utilities in that particular area? Honourable Speaker, it is something that as a country we must sit down and we discuss, because if you look at the history of this country developed along the railway lines. There are areas in this country that have been marginalized, and currently they are still being marginalized. Honourable Speaker, when we talk about marginalization funds that were set aside, Honourable Speaker, it is unfortunate that marginalization funds that was meant to develop areas that were left behind have been hijacked and used for other issues that were not originally meant for. Honourable Speaker, my opinion on this issue, the person or the office to blame for the runaway insecurity in this country is the office of the IG. Honourable Speaker, we feel that the Inspector General of Police has no stamped authority to deal with the issue of bandits in this country. Honourable Speaker, in fact, when we talk to our people, other officers down there, they say, Sisi, we don't take advice. We don't take instructions from Raia. Honourable Speaker, the Raia they are referring to is the CS for internal security. Honourable Speaker, we feel there is sabotage we feel there is sabotage from within government, from within certain officers in this government. Madam Speaker, there is no way that a militia will run the entire day, kill people, and there is no arrest by our police officers. I thank the honorable member from Saku, and she has made a profound statement before the floor of this house that they have identified certain individuals, because criminals, gangsters cannot be a community. Gangsters are certain individuals who should be isolated and perhaps assassinated, because they have run amok in the Kerio Valley, they have run amok in other areas in this country. Honorable Speaker, finally, so that I give other members to speak. It is an issue that, as a house, even as I was sitting here, a member of parliament passed here and said, "In near bandits." You can imagine, referring to us as bandits, because as members of this house, we feel that those areas have been marginalized, and there is need for a deliberate effort by the government to make sure that service delivery is taken to this area, and those individuals are identified, isolated, and of course, the necessary action be taken so that those criminals are wiped out. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Turkana East.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this time to add my voice to this motion. Madam Speaker, the issue we are discussing here, I don't know how we can term it, because we, the members of parliament from the North Rift and also Laikipia, Isiolo, and the other affected areas, which they have been taken away by bandits. Madam Speaker, I have just heard the honorable member for Saku saying very soon they are going to table a report here on security on those areas. They visited my constituency about a month or 2 months ago. And he said, time has come for us to say these bandits by names. But Madam Speaker, to me, I don't know how true is that, because when you hear all these members speaking here, condemning this issue, you hear like if you're talking, the mention of the bandits from a certain area. Madam Speaker, until the time that report will be tabled in this house, that's the time we can mention those people by names. But before that, time has come for this country to face the Pokoti community, who are terrorizing the entire communities in the North Rift. And we cannot be afraid to say that, because we can't be told, let's not mention a community. But who are these people now? Can the government tell us who are these people by names, so that we cannot say the Pokoti community? Can we be given the list of the terrorists from the Pokoti community who are terrorizing Turkana community, the Tugene community, the El Shams community, the Elgey Marakwet community, the Samburu community, the Laikipia community? They are the Pokoti community. And if somebody has the list of those people from the Pokoti who are terrorizing the entire region of the North Rift, let the list be tabled in this house, so that we can start mentioning the name of that community.
Honorable Speaker, from where I sit, there is no community of terrorists, by that terrorists. And in Laikipia, I'm terrorized by terrorists believed to be coming from Isiolo North and Samburu East, not Pokot.
Member for Turkana East, you shall not mention a community. I think the Vice Chair of the Administration Committee has already committed that they will bring a report with a list.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have just said that I'm waiting for that list to be tabled here, so that we can get the list of the terrorists. Even if they come from Turkana East, they come from where, let the list be tabled here, so that we can avoid mentioning those communities. But before that list being tabled here, which name are we going now to use? And that's what it has made this issue to continue, because we are trying to cover it. People are dying, clothes are being burned by the people we know, coming from an area. But we are saying no to say their names or not say that community. Until when, Madam Speaker, can this issue continue in this country? People are being killed in my constituency. Schools have been closed for the last 3 years now. Those kids are not going to school. And nobody is taking any action. And when you hear these people are dealing with the alcohol here in Central Province, every effort is being taken there. Is that not life? Are their lives in the North Rift not the same lives like their lives in the Central Kenya? Madam Speaker, it has reached a time whereby this country, the leaders of this country, can come out and see how they can help the people of North Rift. For those few remarks, Madam Speaker, let me just stop there so that the rest of the members can contribute too.
Thank you, Member for Turkana East. County MP Laikipia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this adjournment motion. Honorable Speaker, I forever remain grateful to the people of Laikipia County for giving me an opportunity to serve them. But it was as the toughest part of this job is when I receive a phone call from a family at night, either through text message or a phone call they managed to make, telling me that the bandits or cattle rustlers are outside their house. In a good case, Honorable Speaker, the following day they call you back and tell you they drove away with their herd of cattle. In a bad case, the community calls you back and tells you they killed a member of that family. Honorable Speaker, such is the life that Laikipians are leading today. Honorable Speaker, it is also good to mention that Laikipia County is the 15th largest county in this country, despite us having 3 constituencies. That said, Honorable Speaker, we are generous enough to have 7 counties as our neighbors. We start with Isiolo, we go to Nyeri, we go to Meru, we go to Nakuru, Baringo, Samburu, and Isiolo are all our neighbors. Honorable Speaker, we are peaceful neighbors, but in many instances we have neighbors who keep antagonizing us and affecting the residents of Laikipia County. That said, Honorable Speaker, our challenges are cattle rustlers, and when it is not cattle rustlers, we have illegal grazers coming to disturb us. Honorable Speaker, the greatest challenge we have as Laikipians is we know the corridors where these cattle rustlers pass, and Honorable Speaker, any member in this house knows the speed of a cow and how fast or how slow it walks. So when somebody says 200 cattle have been driven away, if the security had the intent and the purpose of catching up with these cattle rustlers, they would be able to do that. Honorable Speaker, in this day and age, there is technology. We have drones, we have armored vehicles, which if our system agrees to use, it is going to be very easy to end the cattle rustling in Laikipia County. Honorable Speaker, it is also good to mention that in the 15 wards I have in my county, 7 of those wards are actually being antagonized by insecurity. And I'll give an example of a ward called Gedega. In Gedega ward, we even know the corridor the cattle rustlers use. There's a place called Mlima Jangiri, we have Matweku, we have Mitaro. Those are places where people, it is well known to even the security that this is where the cattle rustlers pass. They have been unable to stop these people. We go to Olmoran, the same case we have at Wangwashi. We go to Salama Ward, there at Checkpoint, we have an issue there. And it is also good to mention, like 2 weeks ago at Checkpoint, they actually killed an elderly man. And in that instance, I remember the senator and the honorable MC of that area trying to pursue the cattle rustlers. They found them seated somewhere in a house by assistance of some sniffer dogs. Honorable Speaker, I find myself thinking, what if the cattle rustlers had seen them approaching? The story would be different today. Again, we have been forced as leaders to become security agencies on the ground because the security agencies on the ground have refused to work. It is our plea that we need to know the structure that is going to be used in security in our areas, because as it's been mentioned by a colleague earlier, it seems these security forces have instructions they receive from somewhere else. For me, I like to go with the good book, the Bible. Leviticus says an eye for an eye. I don't know why in our instance, a cattle rustler comes, kills our people, but when it comes to their arrest, they have to either be treated with baby gloves or treated as if they're special people. The same justice they met on our people should be the same justice that should actually be meted on them. Honorable Speaker, I speak of 7 wards that have insecurity, and we know where all this insecurity is coming from. Recently in Sosian Ward, our MC was almost killed as he was also pursuing cattle that had been stolen there. Honorable Speaker, it is my plea as a leader of Laikipia County, and I join my fellow colleagues in saying a time has come. If we will deliver nothing else for our people, we must deliver security to them. And security must be restored in Laikipia County, and the time for it to be restored is now and not later. And Honorable Speaker, would like to add that our chiefs also need to be given powers. Chiefs walk out in the middle of the night to assist our people, but again they are told they cannot give instructions to the security forces. It is time we get to know who is this person who needs to give instructions for our people to be secured, for them to be ensured they are safe, and the time is now, and we are demanding for it. We can no longer keep pleading for it. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support the adjournment motion.
Thank you, County MP Baringo.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I also want to add my voice on this matter of insecurity and banditry and I want to thank my sister, Honorable Korere, and MP Laikipia for bringing this motion before us. Madam Speaker, I think we have spoken, we have attended meetings, we have screamed, we have written letters. I think we have done what is humanly possible to put across this menace. We have talked to everyone that cares to listen. Sometimes I wonder, Madam Speaker, that how many people should die? How many families should be displaced? How many children should not go to school because schools are closed? How many water ponds and boreholes, for instance, should be destroyed for government that I was bestowed by the people to protect them? I was elected in the side of government, that is the UDA party. And every day, we always remind our people that this is the government that all of us voted for, and we all expected that this problem, at least, should be eased on our back. But unfortunately, it has even, to some extent, become more burden, because I think when you have a lot of hope and you don't get the hope, it becomes more, burden. I want to say, Madam Speaker, as a member of Parliament today, I would really wish the government, my government, to take time and give a goodwill for once and for all. Today, or the other time when we came in, we saw the government taking time to fight on the menace on illicit brews. We mobilize a lot of resources. We call on leaders to take charge, close shops, arrest people, stop bars. That is business. I just wish the same energy, the same effort should be used to stop this problem. Because, Madam Speaker, I just want to give an example. When I am going to drink, even if it's an illicit brew or I'm walking into a club, I sit down, order my beer, drink 1, 2, 3, probably up to the morning. I'll do that the following day, and to some extent, I'll be addicted to it. That is when it is realized it's a problem. What about a mother who is sitting right in her house? A farmer or a pastoralist taking care of his cows is ambushed, attacked, thrown out of his home. All his wealth or cows are driven away, and no one talks about it. It is one thing for government to put orders of problems, and it's another thing to see what really, on how really are we going to take care of these victims of banditry. Someone said communities are not supposed to be pointed as criminals, but there are many criminals that occurs from one community or communities, and it is the prerogative of the community to take initiative to control. Like for instance, when Mungiki was terrorizing everyone in Nairobi and Central Province, it took the Kikuyu community to stop that menace. Likewise to Somali on AJAABU. It is the same thing that this problem, specifically for me, from the Pokot, should take charge and take up the challenge to eradicate this problem. Lastly, I want to tell the president, Kenyans are looking at specifically the Kalenjin, specifically the Tugans, specifically the communities that are affected by this. They really wish and really hope this time round this problem is going to be sorted. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Member for Samburu North.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to support the adjournment motion by the Honorable Member for Laikipia North, Mheshimiwa Sarah Korere, and I really feel for her, just like I feel for all the other members from the North Rift who are affected by this insecurity menace. I come from Baragoi in Samburu North, and Madam Speaker, we are now going on 30 years of gun-related cattle rustling in that part of this country. I believe very many voices have spoken about the vice in this house. And the fact that we are still talking on the floor of this house about this issue really is an indictment on the government of the Republic of Kenya. 30 years down the road, people are still being killed. Families are traumatized. Children are killed. You heard from the women rep, Isiolo. You heard from Mheshimiwa Sarah Korere. You heard from Mheshimiwa Jematiah. You heard from every member who spoke, who stood up to speak on the floor of this house. We are talking about fresh killings. Over the past 1 year, we have lost over 105 people in Samburu. I have lost an MCA, an elected leader, a month or so ago. Up to date, since the killing of that honorable member, the late Paul Leshimbiro, the MCA for Angatana Nyike in Samburu North constituency, we have not seen any concrete action by the government to either bring those who killed him to book. We have not seen any concrete action to really inspire confidence in the communities which live there. Schools in that part of the world have closed. They have not closed because the term has come to a close. They closed because of insecurity. 3 schools in Angatana Primary, Ngabai Primary, Soit Post Primary. Kids are not going to those schools anymore because they fear to go to school. At Soit Post Primary, a teacher was shot. A cook was shot in the evening. There were no cows in the school. People just came and shot them. That is the kind of terror that is visiting the communities in the North Rift and in parts of Samburu County. Madam Speaker, I would support the sentiments by Honorable Kiunjuri that if the government is serious, really this is a very small matter. In Baragoi, for instance, the once infamous Baragoi,